History in Color, a visual journey through time prepared by Hamid Al-Kayai. Genre, non-fiction, historical art, visual culture. Premise: History in Color reimagines humanity's story through the lens of color, blending meticulously researched historical narratives with stunning visual recreations. From the ochre pigments of prehistoric caves to the neon glow of the digital age, this book explores how color shaped, and was shaped by, culture, technology, power, and human expression. Each chapter pairs vibrant illustrations, photographs, and infographics with essays that decode the hidden meanings of hues across civilizations. Content breakdown: 1. Ancient origins. Prehistory 500 BCE, the birth of pigments, examines early humans' use of natural pigments, ochre, charcoal, clay, in cave art, such as Francis Lascaux's paintings, and their ritual significance. Egyptian blue explores the world's first synthetic pigment, created in ancient Egypt, and its ties to divinity and the afterlife. Mesopotamian glazes, how vibrant cobalt and lapis lazuli adorned ziggurats and symbolized wealth and cosmic order. 2. Classical Splendor, 500 BCE 500 CE, Tyrian purple, the Roman Empire's obsession with this mollusk-derived dye, reserved for emperors and senators, and its role in reinforcing social hierarchy. Han Dynasty Vermilion, China's use of cinnabar in lacquerware and tombs, representing immortality and imperial authority. Maya Blue, the sacred, ritualistic pigment of Mesoamerica, resistant to time and tied to sacrificial ceremonies. 3. Medieval Radiance, 500–1500 CE, stained glass and illuminated manuscripts, the Christian use of jewel-toned glass, Chartres Cathedral, and gold leaf in manuscripts to convey divine light. Islamic azurite, the science and spirituality behind cobalt blues in mosque mosaics and Persian miniatures. Textile trade, the global demand for indigo, saffron, and Combs dyes, tracing roots from India to medieval Europe. 4. Renaissance Revolution, 1500–1800, ultramarine gold, how Renaissance patrons like the Medici bankrolled the use of lapis lazuli in masterpieces, for example, Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. Colonial exploitation, the dark side of color, how the slave trade and colonial plantations fueled Europe's hunger for cochineal and indigo. Enlightenment science, Isaac Newton's prism experiments and the birth of color theory, demystifying rainbows and light. 5. Industrial chroma, 1800–1950, synthetic dyes, the accidental 1856 invention of Movine, first synthetic dye, and its impact on fashion and class. War propaganda, bold, patriotic colors in World War II posters, for example, Rosie the Rivetous red bandana, and their psychological power. Art movements, from Van Gogh's turbulent yellows to Mondrian's primary-colored grids, color as emotional and philosophical expression. 6. Digital Age, 1950–present, Technicolor and pop art, the rise of neon signage, Kodachrome film, and Warhol's fluorescent silk screens. Pantone and branding, how corporate color psychology, for example, Coca-Cola red, Tiffany blue, shapes global consumer culture. Digital screens, the RGB revolution, pixel art, and the existential debate, can digital colors ever replace tangible pigments? 7. Future hues, biochromes, lab-grown pigments from algae and bacteria, offering sustainable alternatives. Virtual reality palettes, how R/VR redefines color perception in immersive environments. Cultural reclamation, indigenous artists reviving ancestral dye techniques as acts of resistance. Themes, color as power, how control over pigments, for example, royal purples, colonial dyes, reinforced social and political hierarchies. Cultural exchange, the Silk Road spice trade, and digital age as conduits for colors cross-pollination. Technology and access, from exclusive, labor-intensive hues to mass-produced synthetics democratizing color. Symbolism and identity, red as revolution, black as mourning, pink as gender rebellion, how colors acquire meaning. Writing and style, narrative approach, accessible and engaging, blending academic rigor with storytelling. Each color's history is interwoven with personal anecdotes, for example, a modern-day dyer in Morocco reviving saffron techniques. Visual presentation, high-resolution images of artifacts, side-by-side comparisons, ancient versus modern pigments, and infographics, timelines of dye trade routes. Interactive elements, QR codes link to augmented reality features, letting readers restore faded artworks or mix virtual pigments. Key visual features, 1. Recreated artworks. Digital artists restore ancient artifacts to their original vibrancy, for example, the Parthenon's painted sculptures. 2. Pigment maps. Global maps tracing the origins of key colors, for example, Afghan lapis lazuli to Venetian studios. 3. Laboratory breakdowns, microscopic views of pigment particles and chemical structures. 4. Cultural contrasts, pairings like Edo period kimono silks versus 1960s psychedelic posters to show colors' evolving roles. Conclusion. The book closes with a meditation on color's timeless duality, a tool of oppression and a universal language of hope. A fold-out timeline spans from prehistoric handprints to NFTs, emphasizing humanity's enduring drive to write history in color. An appendix includes DIY pigment recipes, for example, creating medieval ink, and resources for ethical sourcing. Audience appeal, history buffs, fresh perspective on familiar events through color's unseen influence. Artists and designers, practical insights into historical techniques and palettes. Educators, a multidisciplinary tool for teaching art, science, and social studies. Activists, reflections on color's role in protest and cultural reclamation. History in Color is not just a book but an experience, inviting readers to see the past and present through a kaleidoscope of human ingenuity and imagination.